Good day everyone, this is Nemesis, and today do I have a video for you guys. Not only will I show you the latest gear changes and customization options for the glass cannon build after the 15th of April patch, but I will also show you what the critical damage nerf actually did stat-wise for our build, and I will do a comparison between our DPS and the Warrior DPS. I've made the Warrior especially for this video. This is something I always wanted to do, and now that I finally done it, I am shocked by the results. Keep in mind, this is not a full build video. If you wish to learn more about this build, such as why this gear, why these traits, damage rotation, math calculations and so on, I have made a very detailed video on the subject and you will find the link in the description. So first thing, trait customization options. Previously we went 30-10-0-30, or as it's now called 60206. We use some points into death magic for dark armor so that we are more tanky while we are outside of Death Shroud, while we are powering up, while we are recharging our life force pool with ghostly claws, on top of Reaper's Touch, of course. In this recent patch we also received a small buff to this playstyle with the minor trait Armored Shroud. Now, you can take 2 points out of death magic and put them into curses for increased precision, aka critical strike chance, and also for focused rituals, which makes your wells, your AoE, usable at range. I didn't advise something like this until now because we also automatically get bar precision, which makes us add bleeds. And since we don't have condition damage, we just steal bleeding slots from the players that actually build towards bleeding. They use actual condition builds. But since very few people do that nowadays, mind as well. In terms of gear, we are still using full berserker armor, full berserker accessories, and weapon. Previously, we used 2 superior runes of Holbrak, 2 superior runes of fire, and 2 superior runes of strength. So that alongside the 10% boon duration we get from death magic, we end up with a total of 70% might duration, which would allow us to self-stack 25 stacks of might without any outside help. Now, since superior rune of strength has been changed, we have the option to drop down from 70% might duration to only 45% might duration that we get from a full set of superior rune of strength, in favor of 7% extra overall damage while under the effects of might. You may do this if you find yourself in a group that will compensate for the lack of might duration. You won't be able to stack 25 stacks of might on yourself alone, but if you don't have to, you get to benefit from the 7% extra overall damage. One last thing, if you're going to go into curses instead of death magic, take superior sigil of bloodlust instead of superior sigil of perception, so that you still keep your crit chance ratio at exactly 50%, as in 100% in Death Shroud because of deathly perception. So far this build got buffed by about 7% from the rune. Now let's see what the critical damage nerf did to this build. Let's see what actually happened. You will notice that previously we had 108 critical strike damage, and if you look now at ferocity, you will see the value 223. So what's up with that? Well, let's get naked. If we take all the gear off and remove the traits that give us critical strike damage, as in ferocity, we see that we don't have 0 ferocity. We have 150. Previously, if we were to be butt naked, we would have 0 critical strike damage in stats. Is it confusing? Well, previously, if you would have went butt naked to hit a goat and you would crit, your critical hit would not be the same as your normal hit. Even with 0 critical strike damage, your crit hit would be higher than your normal hit, by about 50%. Previously, they would not show that a crit while naked would do the equivalent of 150% damage of your normal hit. Now it shows. And now, what we get extra from gear and traits is put on top of that. So if we want to compare the before and after values, we have to add the normal crit values. We have to add 150% to our previous 108%. Because previously it wasn't showing, it was the default hidden value. So we end up with 258%. Previously we had a 258% critical damage modifier, as in 258 ferocity. Now we have 223% critical damage modifier, 223% ferocity. So now you can finally see the real values of the critical strike damage nerf. Okay then, time for my favorite part. The thing I wanted to do for God knows how many months. Do you guys have any idea how many times since I played Guild Wars 2 I had delusional warriors claiming they do 5 times more DPS than me, 10 times even. I had elementalists claiming I do only 1% of their overall damage. People claiming they do 13,000 DPS with their warriors. But my friend, what about channeling duration, animation delays, attack speed, cooldowns, anything? Ah, details. Fuck you, knob necro, scrub. Kick stupid necro, fucking stupid. Kick. That's it, kick. I never said anything back, not only because I'm such a nice guy and one should not go down to the retards level, but also because I didn't play the warrior. I didn't know the actual values, and I don't like to make claims unless I know the facts. As a veteran experienced gamer, my hawk eye could tell that there was no way they ever do 13,000 DPS. Are you fucking kidding me? How would Worthy World look? How? This is not Call of Duty? What the hell are you people saying? Now the time has finally come to shatter their dreams. Their sweet delusional dreams. I've made the warrior just for this. So I'm not going to complicate things too much so you won't be able to follow my math. Let's forget about channeling durations, animation delays, attack speeds, cooldown. Let's forget about all of this for a moment. Another way to calculate DPS, just like a damage meter, the easiest way actually to find out the real DPS is to make a damage rotation sequence, something that repeats itself, then you time it, add all the damage that was done in that time, and divide by the duration. Why a damage rotation sequence? Because that keeps repeating. It's your damage combo. Basically, you make a damage combo, add all the damage you can do with it, then divide by how much time it took for you to do it. Simple, right? So, what I did, I searched for the most popular, highest DPS warrior build, saw his damage rotation, which is apparently 100 blades and greatsword auto attacks until 100 blades and greatsword auto attacks. So the loop sequence is 100 blades and greatsword auto attacks. That is your damage rotation, that's your combo. Then I made myself a warrior, and as you can see I have all the gear, traits, spots, everything on it, including utilities. There's absolutely no funny business. You can actually check for yourself, redo my tests if you want, all day long. I don't mind. So I did some testing and I found out that since the first second that I press the 100 blades button until I can press it again, it's about 10 seconds. There are some animation delays and various other factors I will not bore you with, but there are about 10 seconds. So we are going to simulate your normal scenario. How much damage can you do in 10 seconds on an undead champion giant? 10 seconds is the benchmark, because like I said, every 10 seconds you can do this all over again. It's the DPS loop sequence. Then we jump back on the Necromancer, and with the glass cannon build we are going to hit the same undead champion giant within the same time frame, same time benchmark, plus minus 10 seconds. Fair enough? This test is unquestionable, undisputable. Shall we begin? So for the warrior we have total damage done 62,149 over a looping time benchmark of 10.41 seconds, which yields an actual real DPS of 5,970.12. Oh my fucking god, oh my fucking god, we don't have 30 fucking thousand DPS per second. What a fucking surprise. Shall we see one for the Necromancer now? Total damage done 59,471 over a looping time benchmark of 10.24. Actual real DPS 5,807.71. Oh my fucking god, just 100 DPS difference. It's not 5 fucking times smaller. It's not 1 fucking % of the warrior's DPS. Sorry, elementalist. What a fucking surprise. You want more? I got more. I spent half a day just waiting for the undead champion giant to spawn so I can fight him again. Actually, these are the weakest values so far. Hold on, we got more, no problem. I know what you might be thinking. With my Necromancer I hit the champion giant while under 50% health to benefit from the 20% damage boost from close to death. Yes, but in an overall fight that's only 10% damage increase, because I benefit from it only half the time. And I will say that the melee glass cannon warrior has about 10% lower DPS uptime than a Necromancer, at least 10%. Unless that warrior has figured out how to tank while in glass cannon, without dodging, without healing, nothing that would break DPS uptime for 1 second every 10 seconds or for 6 seconds in 1 minute. I would so love to see that in Fractals. I would pay to see that in Fractals. That would be quite a sight. Do you guys finally see just how delusioned the majority of these elitists, meta, zerker, kick, necro, I am the best? Do you see how delusional they were all this time? I can't believe I didn't do this sooner. It all makes sense now. Why we were never buffed. Why they were never nerfed. Oh my god. What the lack of an actual damage meter can do to a community. Can you even imagine just how high that 100 blade hit must have been so that the end DPS value would not be 5-7k but 30k? 6 times higher? All the damage you see on screen should be 6 times higher. 180,000 damage hit with 100 blades. And you know what will happen then, don't you? They would claim they do 180,000 DPS. Oh my fucking god. So from now on, whenever you get harassed or cursed or kicked from a group for playing a Necromancer, or any other class that doesn't fit their delusional ideas for that matter, kindly tell them, I believe one should not smoke the ganja. It is not good for one's intellect, yes? And post the link to this video. Now you might ask yourself, why do some team compositions still get faster times than others? Well, the trick is, warriors can buff each other and stack max vulnerability on the target much faster than some of the other classes like Necromancers. That is extremely important if you want to get that initial 10-second time warp window. Necromancers can only buff themselves, and it takes quite a bit to get to max might and max vulnerability on the target. And we also don't need Fury, which is another major buffs for warriors. This is the only reason the warrior meta is faster, because of the initial 10 seconds, which in general is enough to turn the tide, because in this PvE system stuff dies so fast that all you need is corner stacking burst, which is one of the most ridiculous things I have ever heard. So this will be my final gift to you guys. Spread the word, shatter their dreams, but most importantly, until next time, enjoy your gaming and have a great day.